Hey guys, Lance here. Today I want to give you a behind the scenes look of Dropship Lifestyle. If you're considering purchasing this or going through the program, I want to give you more of an in-depth look, again, behind the scenes, what you can expect from this program. I've gone through it myself personally, and I've been really impressed with it. But I wanted to go ahead and put this review for a couple reasons. One, there are different programs out there, and I've been through a lot of the different ones. And this one has really stood apart, so I want to talk about some of the reasons for that. But also, this program does cost more than many of the other programs out there. So I do want to go ahead and highlight what you're getting in this program and emphasize the value so that again you can make an informed decision one way or the other. But I know for myself, sometimes if I can see what I'm getting, it helps make the decision a lot easier if something would be a good fit or not. So that's what I really hope to achieve here. Also, a couple things. Check below in the description box and I will include a link for the blog post to this video, and that's where I'll go into more detail there as well. I want to keep this video more of just a behind the scenes look. And then finally, if this is something you do decide to go ahead and pursue and join, check below and I'll include a link again for information about a bonus offer I have for anyone who decides to join this through my personal link. So I'll reference that. Again, you can get more information about that below. It's not really a reason to join this, but if you do, it's a way I want to certainly congratulate you and thank you certainly for joining through my link. So anyway, let me go ahead and get started now with this behind the scenes look. So once you become a member, this is what you'll look at. As you can see, you have the members area up here. Up top, you have the drop down, and this is the area where you'll spend most of your time. And I'll go through and talk about each one of these briefly, but you have your different modules you can see here. And then this importing area, this is really an additional thing that he included because what he found is as people were going through his program, they're having success, they're getting their online stores profitable. They wanted to take things to the next level. So they wanted to start doing importing and buying in bulk and then, storing it like in a warehouse and things like that. How do you transport it? Do you use a train? Do you use a, big, boat, or how do you get your goods to you? And so he goes through and he talks through all of that. So for some people, they will never need this information, but it's here for you just in case. Then up here you have the resources list. As you go through the course, there's a number of different resources he recommends, and so he has them all in one place just to keep things simple and organized for you. He also has a web design service, so he recommends Shopify as the place to go for like your storefront, but if you don't want to have to deal with any of that yourself, he can do that for you, him and his team, and so he has a service where that's, if you have the money and want to have that done, you can. There's also a great FAQ section where he goes through and answers questions, like do you need a business license? And just some of the basic questions that people have either when they're first getting started or as they're going through this program. So I found that to be a real helpful place to start. And then there's also a forum. The forum is great. This is where you can actually interact with all sorts of other members who are either just getting started or who, have been doing this for a while. They're here to help as well. There's also a case study that's been done, and this is from one of his successful students who've gone through and have done this. And he talks about some of the things that have worked really well for him as he's been successful in this. So it's one of those things where you really want to watch this after going through the or the regular modules. And then also for some additional support, optimizing your site or the web design or contacting them. Now the support, again, is a real highlight of this whole program for two things. One, you have the forum. Two, you have Anton himself, who's really who really cares about your success. And what I mean by that is you can actually ask him questions. You can send questions to him and say, hey Anton, I think I got the niche I want. I'm thinking about doing paddle boards. What do you think about that? Here's what I found. Does this look okay? And he can give you the thumbs up or say, well, it looks good. You may want to consider this. Or, whatever the case is. If you're stuck on any part of it, Maybe for the first time you're trying to do an Amazon product ad to get traffic to your site, and you're like, okay, I think I got it all set up the way you showed. How does this look? Does this look like this should have some success or be a good place to start? Anyway, any of that, whatever your sticking point is, he's there for you. He's done this. He's been doing this for years. He continues to do it, and so for him, this is just like second nature. So anything you're stuck on, he'll have an answer to, and he's happy to help. So just know that the support is phenomenal, and that's definitely part of what I think think of it as that's what you're paying for. Like I said, this program is more than some of the other dropship type online store type programs that I've been through, but the value is there. All those other programs, even if they cost $17, to me, they're still worthless if you put all this time in, like a month or 2 months or 3 months, and you get stuck, and then all of a sudden, who do you go to? It's kind of like you just have to, consider it a wash and cut bait and try again or try something else. So, like I said, the high level of support is available for you. So, now what I'd like to do is go ahead and just talk through each of these modules here real quick. Again, refer to my blog post where I definitely go into some more detail there as well. But Module 1, this is helping you to pick out your niche. Now what's interesting is I've been in this industry a long time. I thought I had some great ideas of niches. But after going through this module, I learned that, you know what, I want to scrap some of the ideas I had. I realized they're just not going to be as profitable. And so this was really helpful, whether you're brand new or whether you've been around, this industry for a while, you're going to find this really, really insightful. And then market research. How do you now go and decide if this is a good niche, to get into? What are your competitors doing? What kind of, suppliers are they using? And so he goes into and shows you literally. He shows you step by step how to do this. You kind of follow along with him. It's like he's creating a whole new store, and he's using like the lighting, lighting for like a home, and so he goes through and shows you how to do that himself. Then you have creating your website. This was one of the parts I was most excited about because I found from personal experience this can be the most difficult. Even with some of the automated storefronts out there, he recommends Shopify, which is really one of my favorites now because it's simple, but it also gives you more features you can use down the road as your store develops and grows and becomes more profitable. So I definitely concur with his recommendation there. So what he does is he recommends Shopify, and Shopify is $29 a month. And then he actually shows you step by step how to add products, how to upload products, how to get it just the basics in place, and then how to optimize it down the road. I'll get into that, but it's really straightforward. It's the most simple to follow presentation I've seen for creating an online store. It's brilliant. So he does a really nice job of that. And here, actually, I want to go ahead and show you in this module just a little bit. I think it's helpful sometimes to see what someone's presentation style is like. So I just want to give you a little taste of this
Welcome
here
to Module 3.
and show you.
The website will look. And what I'm going to do is once I save the image, I'm going to come back and I'm going to go to my store page again. And then I need to upload it. So I'm going to come right down here to product images. I'm going to click browse. I'm going to find the image on my computer. Here it is. I'm going to click open.
Okay, so I obviously won't watch the whole thing there, but I just wanted to give you a real quick idea that he literally takes you through step by step. He doesn't assume you know anything, even in terms of uploading an image. He doesn't just talk about, hey guys, go upload your images. He walks you through it. He just leaves no stone unturned, and I appreciate the fact that he does that. I'd rather him err on the side of just painstakingly taking you through every step and making sure that there'll be no confusion rather than doing what a lot of other people do, which is just to say, hey, here's what you do, go do it, and then hopefully you figure it out and don't come across any problems. But the other nice thing, and while I'm in one of the videos here, so he gives the video presentation and then he goes through and he gives you kind of like cliff notes, so to speak, about how to do everything or things that he talks about in the video, which is so nice. Oftentimes with other programs, I found I would have to go through and create these notes myself, or you could maybe outsource and have someone do it for you. But nevertheless, he just thinks of these little bit extra things there. So again, I really appreciate that. Back to the next one. So getting drop shippers. This I think can be tricky. If you don't have a technique or way to go about getting your drop shippers, your suppliers. And so that's something he shows you how to find these people specific to your niche. I think some niches are easier to find suppliers for than others. I think that's a given, but no matter what your niche is, he takes you through how to do that. And then I also have a bonus offer to help with that as well. Again, you can check below for more information about that, because this is the one I think that can be tricky for people when they're getting started in this. Next is optimizing, and this is now where the idea is once you've gone through module 4, you basically have a website that an online store at this point that could start getting traffic. People can start coming to your site now, but if it's not optimized correctly, they may come to your site and then leave and decide to go somewhere else. So the optimization really helps make sure you convert traffic. People that come to your site will actually buy something. So he's got a lot of great strategies for that. Nothing complicated. It's just follow along as he shows you what to do. Same thing with getting traffic. That's the next stage. You don't want to have a bunch of traffic, coming to your site, but you're not converting any of it. Everyone's leaving or they're not buying for whatever reason. Maybe they don't feel comfortable with your site, or they don't see some of those badges that help them feel comfortable to, put their credit card information in, whatever it is. So now that your site has been optimized, he shows you how to get traffic, and it's everything from like SEO, your basic search engine optimization, to doing some paid things, like whether it's Google Shopping or doing like Amazon product ads. And he'll show you how to have a real, bootstrap kind of budget where if you only have $10, $15, maybe your first month to spend, no problem. That's, when he started, he didn't have anything. And so he also shows you, hey, if you don't have any money to put towards driving traffic, that's okay. And he shows you how to get, basically get started with nothing. But then as you have maybe $5, $10, $15, here's how to make the most of that. And to me, that's the huge value, because you could spend hundreds of dollars on SEO. And I can speak from experience. I've spent hundreds and hundreds of dollars on SEO. Some of it works great, some of it doesn't. But that's an expensive trial and error, to go through. And so when you don't have a lot of money for that trial and error, to have someone who's done all that for you can basically say, hey guys, I've tried it all. Here's what works the best. Here's how to make every dollar count. On top of that, as I've been emphasizing, you have his support, so that let's say you do have $10 and you want to put it towards an Amazon product ad. You can run your strategy by him and say, hey, here's what I'm thinking of doing, spending, 5, 10, $15. This is what I'm, how I'm looking at approaching my Amazon product ad. What do you think? Does that look good? He can give you the thumbs up, and away you go. So again, really solid module there. Module 7, automation. This is again kind of an extra thing. Some people won't even need this module. It's if you get to a point where you want to start to pull back, you want to be involved less with your store, or maybe you want to sell your store, and to create more value, you want to say, hey, this store is automated by this, doing this, this, and this. Now with the automation, typically there comes some additional cost. So like he shows you some things where it might be an additional $15 a month to automate this step or that step with your store. So rather than placing an order manually, the order is getting placed for you automatically and things like that. So it's really cool stuff. Again, some people won't ever want to worry about it, but for those of you that do, he has you taken care of, and like I said, really, really informative and helpful. And then you have your bonus 5 days to success plan. This is where he just lays out for you, 5 days, how to get everything set up, and now you have a fully functioning site that's getting traffic, and you're ready to go. So he breaks it up. Now what you could do is, if it's too much in one day, split it up into 2 days. Like that's what I did. For one of the days, like the kind of the niche selection, market research, I took an extra day in there. I just really wanted to make sure I had that nailed down. Also to be able to ask him for his input, to say, hey, what do you think? Here's what I've selected for these reasons. Does this look good to you? So again, you can kind of modify it to fit you, but it's nice that he breaks everything down so that you know exactly what to do, to lead you to having a successful online store. And then at the end, flipping your store. This is so, now you've created a store, maybe you want to sell it. Or maybe you're creating three stores, two or three or four stores simultaneously. You want to keep your top, one or two, and you want to sell the other ones. This is to show you how to do that. He does this a lot. He continues to do this, and that's why I think this program is so successful. This is not just someone who's done this once or twice and had some success. I've been through programs like that where a guy goes through and he has a successful online store, and so he creates a program. And yeah, you can learn a few things from it, but there's still a lot of holes, a lot of gaps. That in programs like that, and that's where this is, I found, is so solid, because it's like he's seen it all, he's done it all, and now he continues to do this. And so if something better does come around, he'll share it with you. But it's just so solid. He just leaves no stone unturned that way. So again, flipping your store, that's again a nice bonus thing there. So there you have it. The bottom line is, if you have any interest at all in creating your own online store, this is the best course I have seen. And like I said, I've seen a lot. I've been through a lot myself, spent a lot of money on different courses, and all of them have some value to them. But the biggest challenge I found is that there's those gaps. And this is common with any just internet marketing course, let alone a drop shipping course. But there's always, seems like that, a few key pieces of information that get left out. Or you you ask a question about that to the support, and you get someone, sort of an outsourced support answer, where it's almost like more of a copy and paste answer. And that's really not the case here. You really get that personalized attention, the support, and it's cut and dry. So what's interesting about this, though, is I don't think this is for everyone. Although what's unique is, I think anyone who does this will succeed. But there's someone else in the forum who has a kind of a testimony. They're sharing their testimony about how they were very successful at this, and this was so good for them. They actually told all their family and friends about it, and their family and friends signed up and did this. But what he found was, their motivation was different than his. He really wanted to do this. He wanted to have an online income, where he could work anywhere in the world and have a dropship business. And because he wanted that, he was willing to do the things like contact suppliers, email them, pick up the phone, build out his store, do some of the things you need to do to get traffic to your store. It's not hard, but it takes action. And for those who don't have the motivation to do something like that, sure, the idea of having an online store sounds cool. The idea of making a few hundred or a few thousand or more dollars a month sounds cool. But at the end of the day, if you don't have the motivation to do those steps you need to do, then it'll just kind of get put on the back burner, and maybe you'll get your niche set up, but you won't actually get your store set up. Or maybe you'll get your store set up, but then you don't do the things to get traffic to your store, or you don't optimize it. So people are coming to your store, but maybe they're not buying anything. So again, all these are controllable variables. That's what's really unique about this, and that's why I love it. And I wholeheartedly recommend it to anyone who wants their own online business. But I would say, don't do this if you have a half-hearted approach to following through with the steps that will be shown to you. And I go into this in more detail in my blog post, so do check that out. I talk about what are the reasons you won't succeed. Again, that's in my blog post. Things like contacting suppliers. You got to be willing to do that. And I've seen that, because I work with folks to help them contact suppliers, and I've seen that be a struggle. So if you're curious, I will post a link below about one of the live calls I've done contacting suppliers. So do check that out. And that's available to you there. Just if you've never done that before and you're curious, what does it sound like to talk to a supplier? And I'd say 80% of them are similar in how they sound. But again, hopefully this was helpful for you. Do post any comments or questions you have below. Like I said, if you do want to go ahead and sign up, visit my blog, and there's some more information there about the bonus I want to be sure and get to you if you sign up through my link. So do check that out. But thanks for watching. I appreciate your time, and certainly I wish you all the best, and wish you much success in whatever your endeavors are.